economy.
TNFF, United People, Stronger Economy.
The fund has my full support.
TNFF is the best vehicle, in fact the only one I see that will provide this platform, and I fully support it.
It's coming at the very right time, and I said it's very well designed, it's very well orchestrated to succeed.
I'm in full support of the TNFF, and I encourage and urge every Nigerian to be an investor in the TNFF.
I do support this fund very, very much. It's a fantastic and creative fund, innovative.
Wholeheartedly, I want to say the Nigerian Football Fund have my absolute support.
TNFF, United People, Stronger Economy. Join us. Let's unlock greatness.
All right. It's still the MPFL live studio here, and of course if you're seeing this, you're watching us on the Nigerian Television Authority. And of course the match that we're beaming live this evening is the one between Enyimba International and Bendel Insurance, the Group A table toppers, who currently are trailing 1-0 to the home team, talking about Enyimba International. And of course, that goal, the single goal that we saw in the first half of this encounter, came from Emeka Obioma, and he converted from the penalty spot after, the referee spotted an infringement. And do not forget that there are other matches going on in different venues. And let me quickly update you. Enugu Rangers, getting a 2-1 a win over Bayelsa United. The match in the closing stages, Doma United and Lobby Stars, the game just started. That's going to be, a late kickoff. And earlier on Saturday, Dakada FC had lost, 1-2 at home to Niger Tornadoes. And of course, the match between Wiki Tourist and Sunshine Stars is currently goalless, and we cannot understand what's happening there. And of course, do have someone disturbing here. We don't know where that is coming from, but never mind. We move on. And of course, Enyimba International, the match where we're having now, is the one between Enyimba International and Bendel Insurance. The match is 1-0 in favor of the home team. And of course, Aqua United and Shooting Stars is still goalless. The game between Remo Stars and of course Nasarawa United is 1-0 in favor of the home team. Kwara United and El Kanemi Warriors are playing goalless at the moment, while Plateau United and Gombe United, they have it's 1-0 in favor of Plateau United. And do not forget, if Enyimba International can win today's game, it's going to go, they are going to be having 19 points after, amassing 16 in 9 games already. So they will still be second on the table. That will not affect the position, of Bendel Insurance. And of course, you can see that, they are getting set, and, any moment from now, the second half of this encounter will be starting. We'll be returning to the Enyimba International Stadium down there in Aba. The match officials are very much ready. And of course, we cannot wait to see what the second half of this game is going to bring. Do not forget, the 1-0, lead that they've got now came from Emeka Obioma. Emmanuel Sarankoe is still very much on the pitch for Bendel Insurance. What can they do? We cannot wait to see. So, with everyone ready, let's return to the Enyimba International Stadium down there in Aba for the second half of the match between Enyimba International and Bendel Insurance in Group A.
welcome to you once again, this time to the second half of what has so far been a tough affair between Enyimba, who led by 1 goal, against Bendel Insurance. I said a warm welcome, but not that it's anything like warm on the pitch. As you could see, the downpour is still relentless. But today it's the Elephants who have stumped themselves ahead. Yep. The onus is now on the Benin Arsenal to, in the first instance, gun themselves to parity and see if they can nip ahead.
Yes, they've got pellets or bullets in their guns, I'm sure. They've got cannonballs into their machines as well, and I think it's going to be a good second half. The first half was feisty. Tackles were flying in here and there. At some point it was very controlled, but I think the better team won the first half. That same better team would want to continue same as they were in the first half, and I think it was a brilliant game to see. This man, Emeka Obioma, was absolutely beautiful, especially with the penalty he scored. But Bendel Insurance have answers in them. They have solutions to some of their problems. They've stuck to the task quite well. The fight has been good. They've been attacking space very, very well. But unfortunately, they've not been creating enough. And I'm sure Monday Odige, the coach, would have answered to all of that.
Oh, the centre referee, Fawale Olawale, sounds his whistle, and play has commenced once again with Enyimba leading Bendel Insurance 1-0. It's a very interesting day in the life of the centre referee, Fawale Olawale, indeed, from Kaduna State. So what a man he is, really. Today, exactly 1 year ago, he lost his brother, Fawale Abiola, and is having to set emotions aside to handle a fixture of this magnitude in an utmostly professional manner. Oftentimes referees go down as unsung heroes, but we have to talk about him and the kind of courage he has had to summon to go through this one.
I completely agree with you. This just shows the level of his mental resilience, his toughness as a professional. Gotta give him kudos, Mr. Fawale, for on this day he lost his brother, and he's right out there doing his national duty and doing it quite well. He's been exemplary in this particular fixture. No mistakes made so far, all good calls. And you can imagine what he's going through. We have to also celebrate, because sometimes referees get bashed for their results and get bashed for some of their decisions and all, but not today. This man right here should be celebrated. What a mentally strong human being he is. Well done, Fawale.
Absolutely. And as is customary with football at this level, sides have been changed. Enyimba still conspicuous in blue, and now defending on the left and attacking towards the right. Bendel Insurance do the direct opposite, defensively positioned east of our screens, and offensively they move towards the west, where Enyimba are camped. Adekunle Adeleke with a vicious clearance, which hasn't gone too far, to be honest. It's a throwing just in and around their own half of the pitch to the right of their defensive positions, where Pascalese has nodded away the clearance. That's a good cross. That's with by Adeleke. Bendel Insurance looking to start proceedings as sprightly as they possibly can. I'll tell you, that shot looked better than it actually ended up being.
He came on, Yemeni came on in the first half. Vincent, he came on in the first half, and he's been doing quite okay. But one of the interesting things is the Bendel Insurance barely made any form of threat at the Enyimba goal. This man was in a holiday, after from regular peaks here and there. And you can see right now that he shot the ball and he has moved way beyond the first half, the center half. Earlier, due to the raining issue that happened earlier in the day, we saw it.
Well, Emmanuel Sarenhoe did. A bit of a delay with his shot. In the end, it did catch John Noble off guard. And he was a little bit jittery as the ball came his way. Jide.
Yeah, I mean, that right there could have been I think he came off an Enyimba player, possibly. I mean, maybe because he was trying to get the ball out of Imadi, but good goalkeeping right there by John Noble. I was just saying and commenting him that right now he's got his shooting strike back, his shooting power back, because earlier in the first half, to get that ball to the center half lane was a big problem. And the weather is right now has calmed down and things a little bit sober. That right there is a foul. 50-50 ball that they would like to say, but no, one person came out a little bit more injured than the other.
Deputy
Cheta.
Cheta.
I like his name.
Indeed, I do actually. And he was about to say deputizes well in midfield, but he's holding down his own as the main man. And there is a free kick again for the Benin Arsenal. And it's Divine Wachiku who is clutching his ankle, reaching in pain. But it's an interesting position where John Noble's goal is quite visible and within range.
Indeed, and Divine Wachiku, you spoke about the main man earlier, is been the main man for this team so far. They got him back in the fold, but he's yet to exert himself on this game due to that towering man for Enyimba. You know, it's been absolutely amazing. I'm talking about Chibike. Chibike has made it very difficult for Wachiku to play his game, and he's been shining on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders rather.
Well, it's a great save from John Noble. Not into it in the end. Mario Sarenho on our pictures there. The man the Benin Arsenal will be looking to offer them an inroad back to parity. Second top scorer in the division. Supreme poacher Imade Osarenhoe. His predatory instincts and imposing physique. Of course, Jide is a recipe for more accomplishments as far as the beautiful game is concerned. And talking about Bendel Insurance, in their illustrious history, they've managed to produce some players to reckon with. Julius Agahoa, Elder Sinechejile, Ambrose Van Ziken, the legendary Brighton Mokara as well. And Imade surely would be looking to follow in their footsteps. Big shoes, but it looks good. It looks like a player who's hungry. He's young, he's big, he's strong, he can score goals. He's proven that, and above all, is been very, very important. When they need the goals, they turn to him and he answers their call. Those names you mentioned, you know, are big names. I'm sure he will look into his calendar and be like, oh, one day, someday, and maybe, you know, as big as Julius Agahoa. It's going to be a tough call, but he's on the right track. I like him. I think he's a brilliant footballer, and I think he's powerful. And above all, he understands where and knows where the goalpost is. Gangly with a great balance. Mario Sarenhoe, he will be interested in the cross, which I felt was going to come in for Bendel Insurance from the right, but it wasn't to be. That's a poor link up from Divine Wachuku. Basuge has the calmness to guide the ball straight into Julius Emeluju. It's 5-6 minutes into the second half, and Bendel Insurance are already coming out. They're coming out of their shell. They know now that it's important for them to be the team that gets the second goal in this game, because the second goal in this game is a crucial one. If Bendel equalizes, then we have a game on our hands. But if Enyimba scores, which Finidi George would want to, it's game, set and match. But that's one of the bane of Enyimba so far at the beginning of this season. Whenever they get the first goal in the game, they tend to just relax and allow the other team to get into the game. That's what you don't want to do. A game of this magnitude, you want to go out there and finish it off as fast as possible. Well, Bendel Insurance are clearly asserting themselves a little bit more than they did in the first. Enyimba not enjoying the kind of dominance they had in the first 45. And speaking of which, here they come again. Osarenhoe was looking to race onto the end of it. It's well cleared by Dekule Adeleke, who's making his very first start of the season, being out of selection due to injury and illness. Now he can play. Another player who is a full-fledged international was selected for the Super Eagles when Gernot Rohr was in charge for the friendly against Mexico in the United States. Indeed, is a top player. Is very important to the team. Adeleke and John Noble, that is. I think
for Yimba, one of the better players this season and the past while is this man on this ball, Abubakar. It's also Pascal Eze. I watched Pascal Eze play for Atlant, the Nazi Millionaires, and it was solid. He was one of those players that, although Atlant were always going to be in trouble due to the overall issues off the ball, things that they've been having going on, but if I thought there was going to be a team and a player that was going to pick up his career from another team, it's going to be Pascal Eze. He's intelligent on the ball, he can read the game quite well, and above all, he's like a natural born leader.
Ambrose with the long ball forward. Now could a chance of a return up now for Bendel Insurance. John Noble palms it away. Pascal Eze with the follow-up clearance. Encouragement for the men in yellow, so much so that they come again. This time it's deflected onto the part of the fullback who's crosses too tame to worry John Noble, who firmly gets the ball in his clasp.
And I hate to say this, that right there was a good chance. That could have probably just been another goal, but good goalkeeping by Noble. That's the one before this one. But Enyimba now slowly allowing Bendel Insurance an inroad back into the game, and that's what they don't want to do. That definitely is what they don't want to do, because of the kind of the form of this Bendel Insurance side. They're in good form, and they've been winning games and drawing games. They've just drawn 2 games, and that's the kind of team you do not want to get back into the game at a level like this.
Now 55 minutes played. It's Enyimba 1, Bendel Insurance 0. Courtesy of penalty tucked away by Emeka Obioma, who took his tally then to 8 goals this season in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Enyimba with a free kick in a decent position, forcing Amasa Basogi to direct his wall and position his players in such a way that they will meet it in the first instance. Enyimba looking for the seconds, which would pretty much give some insurance against insurance. It's going to be an outswinger from my Moobot, who has a decent left foot that can ping the ball just as he has. Now some scramble in the area. Referee grants some reprieve to Bendel Insurance. So Jay, the number 2, brought down illegally while trying to keep things tight at the back for the Benin Arsenal.
I expect a little bit more from him, but I expected the ball to go a little bit higher. Utilize the height advantage that you've got in there by Pascal Eze, by Emeka Obiora. Some big men right in there throwing themselves into the mix, but he chose to go low, and that didn't come out well.
They wouldn't the chance to speed away. So brought down, of course, a more Obot, who we were just talking about. The Enyimba fans keep drumming away. Divine Wachiku unable to get to it. Bilal Yakubu finding John Noble. Noble long and forward. Met with by Sunday Anyanwu. Now Divine Wachiku to Emeka Kobundu. And Wachiku settles it for a central midfield partner. Attempt to find Osarenhoe. A successful chiefly because the gangly centre forward is able to improvise and keep it in play. But up against Pascal Eze, Sarenhoe wins a throwing.
I see Imadi and I see a very strong, very intelligent striker, but he doesn't get enough praise for the level of link-up he does for the team. He drops back, can get the ball, can play with the ball, is intelligent, and he can actually pick out a pass even in his own right.
Enyimba are off looking to break away on a counter-attack. Goes back to Samuel Kalu. Samuel Kalu elects to pick out Adekunle. But Enyimba find the forward gears again. Build up neat and tidy. Obot with the cross goes past Obioma and headed away by Akobundo lets it rip. It's a good effort, at least in terms of the intentions, not the execution from Bilal Yusuf. But a little bit underneath the ball, to sky it high, wide and over.
It's very interesting to see the change of tide, because in the first half, before he considered the goal, Amas Chijoke was keen on keeping the ball, treating it like a friend and slowing things down. And now that his team are currently going looking for one goal, is all urgency. And that right there just tells you that they know they've been unbeaten from the get-goal of this particular game. That right there was a tackle on Chibuike, who I think needs to do more in this second half. I refuse to believe that he's a first half performer, but he needs to do more. He needs to control and seize the leadership of this particular midfield back from Divine Nwachukwu, who was abysmal in the first half by his standards.
Now the tide seems to have turned in midfield, but here is Osarenhoe. Can he get to it? Bits John Noble to it. Nothing of further fruition came of that for Bendel Insurance. Now here is Waiwo steps into a puddle on the pitch, which of course affected his trajectory. And with a slice of fortune, Bendel Insurance win possession once again.
Noble should be doing better in that particular situation. If you're not sure, don't step out. Only for the wet-free surface, the very wet surface, slippery surface rather, coming to the rescue.
Here they come again. Osarenhoe 1v1 with Pascalese. Samuel Kalu intercepted before Pascalese cleared it forward. Affinity George would be a tad bit worried, I suppose. The initiative is being seized by the visitors, looking far more enterprising than they did for most parts of the first half.
It's over a quarter of a minute we've spent in this particular second half, and we've seen it's been more Bendel Insurance. It's quite sad, you know, that Enyimba are looking to keep what they've killed, and I think it's very risky play. I think it's too early. I think it's important that they push up and try to seize this game while they can. Momentum so far has been with Bendel Insurance. They've created better chances. It's been an improved second half performance so far on their path, and this man has been right in the center of it.
On an hour of football played. Well, it's Bendel Insurance who seem to have found a remedy to the threats being posed by Enyimba as far as much of the first 45 was concerned. The George with the tinkering on how to solve the immediate problem of the growing confidence of Bendel Insurance, who, if it ends this way, would suffer the first loss of the campaign. John Noble asking for the forward players to spread, make the pitch wider. Brings it under control. He notched off the ball. Referee most certainly thinks yes. It's a foul on Julius Emelogu, who tumbled under pressure. Insurance looking to invent. Free kick is played short, and Cooper doing everything he can to put a halt to the ascendancy. Now here's the goal scorer, Emeka Obioma, looking to spit away. Goes past two successfully, but not successfully past the third man in Sunday Anyanwu, the number 14 for Bendel Insurance.
He left more than himself in that particular challenge, and that's why he's yellow carded, you know. Good move by Emeka, showing another side of his game, but he just left that leg. He's taking his time to explain to him. Yellow card for Emeka Obioma. Well deserved too. Another good call by the referee.
I'm sure Emeka Obioma wouldn't agree with you that that was a good call.
No player ever agrees with being yellow carded. He was trying to even plead his case at that time, but we all saw it. He left his leg in that particular challenge, and he could have done better.
Is there a case for a first-time offender in terms of pleading for the ref not to issue the card?
Yeah, sometimes I think it's all about, and yes, that's another issue of the wet surface that we mentioned, you know. Regularly, if all things were equal, if it was a very regular pitch surface, referee were trying to reckon what to do at this particular time. But yes, just going back to, just seeing that particular attack, we could see he just went in there, just lost his footing just a little bit, and our referee has a big decision to make. It's a good thing no player was injured. Both of them are back to their pitch.
Late Samuel Carlo in a collision with Becca Kobundu.
It's another yellow card on her. That's 2 yellow cards in less 1 minute. Enyimba really now. Monday Odige, knowing how smart a player some of his players are, rather, it is important that he would definitely use that opportunity to just get into the lead of
Ivan Watriku with the delivery. It's Emmanuel Sarenhoe stuck in between John Noble and the receding Enyimba defenders. John Noble seems to have come up worse. Well, conversations will be had, that's for sure. Emmanuel Sarenhoe on his knees and back up, clutching his right rib cage. John Noble still down on the turf. Will surely be needing some medical attention. Had to be brave to get stuck into that one. As the free kick came in, Jide.
Yes, he came in. You could see he was, Imadi was in his right senses to go for that one. He's a number 9. But the goalkeeper had his eye on the ball and he just clattered into him just a little bit. And Noble didn't even get the ball, Imadi got to that ball first. But obviously, Noble had his eyes on that ball. And that right there, he came and hit Imadi. But unfortunately, sometimes when the elephants collide with Ghana, most likely an Arsenal, Bendel Arsenal, like they like to call themselves, there's always going to be a challenge, and it will be nice to see John Noble come up back into this particular pitch. I did mention earlier that for Finidi George, unlike Monday Odige, the coach for Bendel Insurance, rather, I could see that particular Benin City proud historic logo, that Bendel Insurance Football Supporters Club. Finidi George has been having issues at his goalkeeping units from the get-go this season. We've seen Olorunfemi Leke Femi, I beg your pardon, has been in the stakes, so has John Obo. But it's a good thing that John Obo is back on his pitch. And the supporters club are actually having a good time on it.
Absolutely, yeah, they are. Have a lot to be proud of. And the Bendel Insurance supporters, quite remarkable what they've been doing so far this season. Created back in 1972, 2-time winners they are in 1973 and 79. As our top flight is concerned in the nation. Had 3 FA Cups, and you find a side fairly illustrious. It's Bilal Yakubu who effects the throwing. And was that a pullback? Yes, indeed. Referee has a good view of it. Adamu Abubakar brought down.
It's been a big problem. He just wants to get into that space, just want to use every tiny space, and sometimes he gets that particular challenges on him and he wins the foul for the team. Very crucial to this particular set of Abubakar. It's been a thorn, maybe the man of the match so far.
The referee with the spray indicating the bounce, which should not be exceeded. Advanced from as Bendel Insurance set up a 2-man wall. Free kick imminent. Enyimba looking for inroads once again. Have beaten the difficult Obasoge before. Will they do it again? It's headed away, and the follow-up is from Cooper, who lashed at it high, wide and over, but well, in terms of venom, it had everything, but
not the direction. Yeah, great, not the direction or the accuracy, but it was a very good shot, but just it was always rising. Techniques from this angle is very, very difficult to pull off. You got to be training for a long time for it, as we see some particular changes happening for him.
The top scorer for the MPFL in the season gone by, Chijoke Akuneto, is stripped and ready to make his debut for the People's Elephants, as is Philip Ozo. 19 goals he scored alongside Nyemawagwa, and of course Ishak Rafiu Kayode for Rivers United last season on his way to becoming champion. And in he comes. Once upon a time, easy to identify with his dreadlocks, now looking fresh, I have to say, with the trim, for the want of a better alternative at this time. But straight into some defensive maneuver they have to get into, because Bendel Insurance were speeding away on a counter-attack before they were halted illegally, affording them a free kick.
Indeed, I like this substitution made by Finidi George. Two very enterprising, very intelligent players, and above all, high-level talent in terms of Akuneto and Philip Ozo. And that just tells you, it's testament to the quality that this Enyimba team has in their arsenal. They're absolutely special team. They've got some great players in their ranks. For Akuneto to be on the bench, that just tells you how big the squad depth of the Enyimba team, and definitely want to make his mark in this game.
In comes the free kick. It's looking right. Well taken care of by Pascal Eze once again. The People's Elephants storming forward. Now the Benin Arsenal recovering great number to plug the spaces. Akuneto wouldn't get a decent first touch since his introduction. It's out of play for an insurance throwing.
Yeah, but you do know that for a fact, that, and everybody knows, if at all there's anything Akuneto is good at, is good at coming back. He doesn't relent, he doesn't stop, he keeps coming back, he's relentless. When he runs at you, you know you're in big trouble every time.
Well, what looked like a simple slide rule pass, not well effected, much to the dismay of the teaming supporters of Enyimba Football Club. All by himself, taking them on through the midfield. And now it's John Noble who would sweep to come to the rescue of Pascal Eze, who had some trouble to cope with Ismail Sariki, looking to get ahead of him.
You see what I say about Pascal Eze, his leadership and his ability to read the game, even as Cooper's just given the ball. And Pascal Eze back to the rescue. The game has resumed almost. You know, the thing about Pascal Eze is he's intelligent on the ball. He's been able to read that plane, because if he wasn't on top of his game, rather, Serki had that opportunity to just go